Hello everybody, BeMetalways here. Welcome to another weekly heavy metal album review. This week I'm reviewing Impure Wilhelmina. This was released by Season of Mist on May 21st, 2021. Now, let's talk about the background of this band. They were founded in 1996. This Geneva quartet has experienced many lineup changes over the years around Michael Schiedel, the singer, guitarist, main composer, and lyricist. With Antidote, Impure Wilhelmina have released 7 full-length albums displaying a blend of metal, post-hardcore, new wave, and indie rock. Antidote features 10 tracks and clocks in at 53 minutes. The album is a melting pot of intensity, melody, power, and melancholy. But I must warn the metal fans that it leans more on the indie and post-rock side of things than on heavy metal. When we get to track number 4, Dismantling for example, we can appreciate this melting pot. It starts as a very indie rock, almost 80s goth rock catchy song. Then, to my pleasant surprise, we get the first guttural screaming vocals on this album, which brings a very special flavor to Antidote. Unpredicted Sky is one of the best songs on the album, with long instrumental passages, the longest song on this album actually. And also they explore with this more their heavy metal side with aggressiveness and guttural vocals again. That's a good sample to me where the album shines. That's when Impure Wilhelmina fully explores instrumental passages, and while melancholic, it also uses aggression. The other facet that I also like on this band is their sludgy side. The album opener, for example, Solitude, features some heavy guitar tones and overall a thick and sludge orientation. And a good example of the nice bass sound we get throughout this album. Very low and just audible enough on the mix. Gravel is another sludgy moment on the album and it works well. Pay attention to those bass lines, very cool and thick. But back to the opening track, the vocals don't come in till halfway through the song. When they do, they bring on a Mastodon vibe, and I think that's a very cool side of this band. Those long instrumental passages is where the album shines and are my favorite moments on here. Midlife Hollow is another song with those instrumental passages and also of a good sounding guitar and riffs. Another moment where we hear a good balance mix of metal and indie rock. After the short instrumental title track, another longer song, Everything is Vain, closes the album in a very melancholic tone. The songs in this territory of melancholy and indie rock are my least favorites on this album. Jasmine's reminds me of Pink Floyd's Final Cut, and that's not a good association. And the song Vicious sounds like 70s punk, and it's not my thing either, despite being upbeat and catchy. Now, if I'm being picky here, I personally can't avoid the fact that I can't be too excited about the vocals. A few songs and other moments of rather okay songs fall flat for me, despite being well-written tunes, and I think it's because of the vocal style on this album. So, let's wrap it up. Is Antidote a bad album? Not at all. Is it for everyone? Also no. While I personally have some difficulties with the Impure Wilhelmina style and choices, I can appreciate the quality of the music writing and musicianship on this album. For those looking for aggressiveness, this will disappoint you, I think, but if you are open to some new experiences and a more indie rock and post-hardcore sound, then Antidote delivers. With all things considered, I still think it is a good album with a score of 79 out of 100, so I cautiously recommend it. So thanks for being here, for listening, and be mad always!